Okay, just in case you might want to highlight without bleeding, this is called the Bible Highlighter by Studio Series. So that's what I'm using. All right, I'm going to the 13th verse of of Romans chapter 1. Now I would not have you, this is what Paul said, after he wants to see them, to share with them, and they share with him. He said, now I'm going to tell you now, I would not have you ignorant. Okay, let's get this right here so we can see it. Always know what the word said. I would not have you ignorant. I don't want you left out in your understanding, everybody. Brethren includes men, women, boys, girls, everybody. He said, I would not have you to be without knowing, people, that oftentimes I purpose to come to you. In parentheses, but was left here. So I couldn't come. Why do I want to come? That I might have some fruit among you also. I just want to see people come to Jesus, even as among other Gentiles. Okay. He said, I want to be used of God to draw people in Rome too. Just like I got other folk in other places, in other Gentiles. He said, cause you know why? Because I'm in debt. I'm a debtor. What in the world? Something just keep on being in the way. I am a debtor, both to the Greeks and to the barbarians, both to the wise and to the unwise. I have talked to the Greeks and they, helped me out. I've talked to the barbarians. What is barbarian? Let's look at that. That's Romans 1:14. He said, I'm in debt to these folks. I'm in debt both to the Greeks and to the barbarians. All right, I said that. I have a duty to perform and a debt to pay both to the Greeks and the barbarians, the cultured and uncultured, both to the wise and the foolish. I owe everybody. I want to make sure that, notice that who I came in contact with. I'm in debt, both to the Greeks. These people were not a part. And to the barbarians. I found some folks that didn't know how to behave themselves, cultured and uncultured. Both to the wise. I had folk that had a lot of sense. And to the unwise. He said, I'm in debt to everybody. I think I owe everybody the right to know who I am and who God is. Well, who I am through God in the manifestation of his son, Jesus Christ. I'm in debt. So as much as in me is, I am ready to preach. I'll preach to the Greeks. I'll preach to the barbarians. I'll preach to the wise. I think I owe it to everybody and the unwise. So as much as in me, I am ready to preach the gospel to you that are at Rome also. I've been here, there, and I want to come and preach to you. Why? Because I am not ashamed. Ain't no shame of what? The gospel of Christ, which is the gospel of God. The gospel of Christ, the good news, for it is, what is the gospel of Christ? He defines it. For it is the power of God that will save us unto salvation. That's it. It is the power of God given to us in a book, the curriculum of God given to us by the authority of Jesus Christ. Why? How? To save us unto salvation. To who? To anybody that believes. He said, this gospel is made for everybody. Everyone that believes, anybody that would take this book and believe it, act upon it, he said to the Jews it was given first, and then to the Greek, to the Gentiles. All right, I'm going to stop right there, because what Paul is saying right here, I want to give you the word of God so much so until I don't care who you are. I want everybody in town, downtown, around town, in the cities, the suburb, the country. I want the entire world to know who this Jesus is, what this gospel is all about. And he said, I'm not ashamed. I was not ashamed when I was foolish, killing people or having them killed and locking them up and putting them out the city. He said, when I found out the truth, the energy that I had is totally brand new. I'm a go-getter. I want people to know the power of God is still being manifested through his word. Even today, this word, this epistle, this letter, this what Paul put on a scroll so anybody could read it. He said, I'm about this. I'm about promoting people to be right with God. Oh, he said, this is real. And I am not ashamed. I am not ashamed of the gospel. Woo, I know this gospel to be so until there is nothing about it that will make me hide my hand, my face, my voice. I'm not ashamed of the gospel, the good news, the power of God given to man to be drawn back to God through his son, Jesus Christ. Can't be ashamed of this good news. Lord, help us not to be ashamed to testify about what you did. You just want to use our mouths as a conduit or a vessel or some way to get the word out to anybody. I don't care who they are. He said, I don't care what race. You ain't but one race anyway, but I don't care what shade, hair texture, job, position, unlearned, learned, wise, barbarians, cultured, uncultured, Greek, Jew. I don't care. I just want to get the word out, said Paul. And that's the attitude that we ought to have as well. We ought to be ready to share the good news of who Jesus is. And this is, where did I start? I started on verse 13, and I stopped on verse 16. And then I will be back to go 17 because I want to take my time and make sure I gather everything so that I can share the best understanding of the word of God I can give with these next few verses.